Maycee, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Maycee, long time no speak.
I know. I've been like trying to figure out. I think I had your old.
Oh,
I had your old number. I think I texted you after my last one, and I was like, I never heard from you. I was like, what the heck?
oh no,
But it's all good.
that's
It's
not
all
my
good.
style. Yes, now you have my new number. We had to change numbers, all good. But here we are. You're frozen on me here, so I don't know. Can you still hear me?
I am in a different spot. I tried to move, but I've had great service the whole time that I've been here. I'm on a trip. I'm at my parents' house.
Oh, okay. Are you on like some sort of hunting trip or
Yeah.
something?
No, I'm fishing.
Okay.
We went out fishing twice, but
Well, I see
my
some like.
family's really big into hunting. Yeah. We're big into hunting. So this is one of my brother's rooms.
Oh wow. Okay. I actually saw a big fish that you
Yeah.
caught yesterday. What kind of fish was that?
I think the one that I posted was a trout or a
Okay.
salmon. I don't know which one I posted, but
It was
yeah, we
gigantic.
caught pink salmon, coho salmon, and then also some trout. So
Is that common for you? Like that's a massive fish that you're just casually holding up there.
it's been a while since I've been able to get out there, but I love it. I love fishing. I love hunting. So finally able to, make some trips happen. So yeah, I've been loving it.
Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. Like we said
Yeah.
before we got cut off there, it's been a while. Congratulations on all your success. 3 in a row now. Big win over Jessica I. I actually do want to start backwards in that you said after the fight, last fight on your deal, any update on that front? Have you re-signed? Have you guys talked turkey? What's going on with the contract?
Yeah, no, we have not talked yet. Hunter reached out, wanted to talk. He's like, we'll talk next week or something. And I really just wanted, so I had 2 fights back to back with Montana and then with Jessica. And I really just wanted a week to be able to go to my family. My sister had a baby. And so just to be able to spend time with my family, I wanted that week, just to really like think through, everything. And obviously the UFC has treated me amazing and I love it. And rewatched my fight and they were talking about me being a UFC veteran. And I'm like, I'm 20 freaking 4, like to me, that's insane. But at the same time, like I grew up in the UFC. I love it. So going into this week is really the whole like contract talk and figuring out, what the next steps are. But like I said, I love it. I love the career that I've had. And I'm just getting started.
Are you interested in testing the waters, seeing what else is out there?
I mean, obviously, being a free agent, other people are going to reach out. So we'll see, kind of what happens. But like I said, I grew up in the UFC and I love it. But at the same time, it'd have to be like a life-changing offer from someone for me to be like, yeah, let's, figure something else out, But at the same time, it's like, I feel like the UFC has treated me so well. They're just going to continue to do that. And I'm open to whatever. But at the same time, I really would love to stay with the UFC and see what we can figure out together. This is such a huge career,
So in other words, you don't want to pull a Nate Diaz and ask for your release.
I'm never going to be like, hey, let me go. Why would I do that? It doesn't make sense. They've treated me so well.
I know.
And I feel like they're going to continue to do that, So, but at the same time, this is career and I'm never going to say no to nothing, to everything, So we'll see.
By the way, can we talk about your nails for a second? What is going on over there with these nails? I mean, this is quite the design on them. What's happening?
Oh, I got my nails. Can I be honest? I had the worst nail experience I've ever had in my entire life yesterday. My sister went in to go get her nails done. So we got manicures and pedicures. And I got these done, but I like showed them a design. They're not even the shape that I asked for. They're not the color. And the guy, it's been, every once in a while you get a guy to do your nails. And it was literally, he was like shoving my foot and like pulling my arm. He didn't say a word to me. He was just huffing and puffing. And I was like, wow, like, holy cow, this is a terrible experience. It was rough. But I'm glad that my sister enjoyed it.
They look cool though. I thought you were going to
Thank you. I really do. I do like them. He actually traded with some girl. When I showed him the design, he went and he like walked away.
Oh no.
Lady came over.
Golly. That's like when you go to like
it was great.
A barber or like a hairstylist and you realize like, oh no, this is going to be a disaster and I just have to sit here and deal with it.
Shave half your head?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did. I was 2 minutes away from I was like one like gesture away from just being like, all right, you know what, screw this, I'm walking out. But it was all right. I just won't go there again.
All right. By the way, considering you knew that it was the last fight in your deal, did you feel more pressure going into that fight? Like you had to win, you had to look good. Did you, just add a little bit more on your shoulders because, you want to look good on the last fight?
I mean, maybe in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I was so confident in this fight going into this fight with Jessica Ai. I felt great in my last camp. I felt great in this camp, and I just know what I bring to the table. And ever since, that knee injury, I've been on a track of like success. Obviously, I didn't have the greatest success with Alexa Grasso. That was me trying to like figure everything out. But I honestly feel like I'm finally becoming that fighter that I like first started as. And when I thought about the fight with Jessica, I'm like, I know what I bring to the table. So I'm just ready for this, and I didn't really even consider that it was my last fight on my deal. The only thing that I thought was as soon as I beat her, there's going to be so much better of opportunities. And I'm at that point where, there's going to be better opportunities. There's going to be more money. There's going to be, another fight. There's going to be, I'm in the top 10 now. So like, there's so many good things to look at that it was just like more of an excitement feeling than a pressure feeling.
By the way, when I say July 13th, does that date mean anything to you?
July 13th, wasn't that maybe? Is that Jon Jones' date?
No. Your Contender Series fight, July 13th, 2018, 4 years ago today.
I know what the number that like sticks in my head is November 10th because that's when I made my UFC debut.
Okay.
But July 13th was the Contender Series day, so that was 4 years ago now?
4 years ago, 9 fights later, a lot has happened. You've grown up a lot.
Crazy, right?
And it's crazy, like after the Roxy fight was the Roxy fight, but I felt like after the Alexa Grasso fight, like you could almost just hear everyone jumping off the bandwagon. People are like, she's not going to be who we thought she was going to be. She's not going to break Jones's record, all this stuff. Did you feel like a lot of people at that point stopped believing in you and kind of gave up on you very prematurely? I mean, you're still so young, even at this point with the winning streak you're on. But did you feel like people started to doubt your trajectory, your future after that second straight loss?
To be honest, yeah, I mean a little bit, but at the same time, like I've tried to really not pay attention to what everybody else thinks. Like if fans want to jump off the wagon, then they don't want to jump off the wagon. But at the same time, I feel like the true fans and the true people that are going to stick with you are going to stick with you no matter what, and they really do see the future in my career. And for me, it's not just going to be this like one and done thing. Like I set the record for the goal for Jon Jones' record because I wanted something for myself to work towards. And I wanted something, I don't want to set small goals and just like try to like just bust them over. I want to set big goals and chase those goals. And if I don't reach them, well, at least I was chasing something big, and with that, it's also something for people to follow along with. I might not beat Jon Jones' record. Obviously I passed that time, but that doesn't mean I can't be the youngest female champion in the UFC, so there's other things that can come through it. And I think that, the people that want to stick with you and want to follow your career will do that. And I feel like I have a pretty good fan base and I'm thankful for all of the support, whether it's negative or positive.
By the way, who is the youngest champion in UFC history, women's champion in UFC history?
I'm pretty sure it was Rose.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So
Rose.
And do you know how old she was?
I don't. I think she was I want to say like
26,
mid-20s. Yeah, okay. I think it was close to that.
So in retrospect, I was going to ask you about the Jones thing. Like you were the one who put that out there. You're the one, on your phone and everything. It was a big part of your identity early on. And I was wondering if in retrospect, you regretted doing that because maybe that put pressure on you.
I don't, I feel like I was on the path to doing that. I heard Dana saying, one fight or this fight, of the trajectory of where I was going. And unfortunately, I tore my ACL and God had other plans for me. So I honestly am thankful that I put out those goals and that kind of like ambition, because I feel like it did bring a lot of people along. It did make a lot of people pay attention. And the more I can have, the better. And at the same time, just because I didn't reach that doesn't mean like that's the end of the career. I'm still, like I said, 24 years old. I'm so young. So I don't regret it at all. And in fact, I feel like it taught me a lot. It taught me how to like really navigate that people, wanting to follow you or that big target or, the hype train of people believing, that's hype and they're going to wreck the hype train. Like, I feel like it would help me navigate all of those. And the injury, all of that was it played a big part, and it continues to today.
I remember you handled the injury, you handled the Roxy fight so well in the aftermath. I think it was the last time we spoke, actually. Um, but that's public. Privately, being so young, ACL, knowing that it's a long road to come back. How did you handle it privately? How difficult was that time for you?
On a more private setting, it was hard. I was also dealing with like other stuff, some negative voices in my life. And it's just like, there was a lot of things that played a part in, oh, you got injured because of this, or you did this. And, the people you're training with, there's a lot of negative things that I had to navigate. And when you're a fighter, it's not like it's just you. It's like you have so many coaches, management, family, friends, people, like everybody has an opinion on what you do. And at the same time, like there's some things I've learned of like, it doesn't matter like the other opinions, what other people think about you does not matter. It's how do you feel? How is your training? How are you improving? And are you comfortable with where you are? And I wasn't comfortable with where I was at. I wasn't comfortable in a lot of things. And that time that I tore my ACL, it really made me realize how uncomfortable I was when I wasn't in the gym. With, or I wasn't happy with, or I was, missing in my life. And that translates into MMA because when you're training in the gym, like you don't have to think about anything. So it's almost like it's your like drug and your escape. But what happens when you're not able to train? You really are able to process everything that's going on. And I was able to process it. And I'm like, I'm not happy. Like I'm just not, and that's where I really had to step up the mental training. I really had to, sit down and process all the stuff that I went through. Whether it was, the traumatic stuff that I went through as a kid when I was sexually abused. And then also just the stuff that I have to deal with as being a professional athlete. Like there's so many things. And I realized how important just your mental health and your own well-being is to your performance. And I'm so thankful. Like, honestly, I'm so thankful that I was able to tear my knee and be given that opportunity, because I feel like that's only going to make me a better fighter. It's only going to make me a more dominant champion, and it's only going to progress my career. And I'm very thankful that it was earlier on than later on. Like I had that time to heal and learn sooner rather than later.
Did you talk to someone like mental training, all that stuff? Who helped you with all of that?
Yeah. So for me, I followed Eric Thomas for a long time, and I went to one of his speaking engagements, like his conferences, and I met him through there. And I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going." And I kind of made that connection, but I never really truly realized how much I needed him. That was like way before I tore my knee. And then about a year or two later, I tore my knee, and I was like, "No, I really need help." Because that was when I was sitting there in that uncomfortable situation, and I'm like, I really need to get through all this because I can feel that I need to progress. And so I reached out to him, and he connected me with Sherry Riley, and that's kind of how all of that started, with me talking to her. And then through that, I also realized that I still had the trauma that I had dealt with in my past that I still needed to get through. So then I did some research, and I found a trauma counselor, and I started working with them as well. And so I have 3 people that I talk to, along with my family and all of that. But really, I really needed that time to focus on that. And so I have Eric Thomas, Sherry Riley, and a trauma counselor that I started working with.
Forgive me for following up on this, but you mentioned when you were younger you were sexually abused. Have you ever said that before? I don't recall you talking about that. Have you spoken about this?
Yeah, a little bit. So for me, I try not to give any new information on that than just like what I've already given in the past.
Okay.
I never wanted to build my career off of this sad thing. I mean, yeah, it's a part of my life, but I want to own that part of my life, and I want to be able to share that story in my own way and on my own time. And so I gave, I've said that before, I said that in a few of my UFC interviews last week, just talking about, some of the things I've had to overcome. And part of it was me being sexually assaulted twice in my life. And that was just kind of, as much information as I've given, and it kind of helps with the fact that, I work a lot with Operation Underground Railroad, which is a giant organization that combats human trafficking. And I reached out to them because I'm like, what can I do in my life that's going to kind of help and use my platform to help fight against that, because even though I wasn't human trafficked, but I was abused and I was, you know, assaulted, and I've been through that situation. And so what part can I play to help other girls, other boys that have been through something even like remotely similar, you know, to what I've been through. And I know that there's kids going through so much worse. And so that's why I reached out to them. And so obviously I can't just do the work and without them asking questions, you know, everybody's going to ask like, why do you do this? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be a part of it? And to me, it's something personal to me. You know, that's the entire reason why I'm doing what I'm doing as a fighter. You know, so that's kind of, you know, the most I've given. But it is a part of my life. It's a part of my past, and it's a part of who I am and why I do what I do. So that's just how it goes. You know.
I no, I appreciate that, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on it, but I did not hear you talk about that, so I just wanted to make sure
No.
that I
Yeah. Completely.
understood where you were coming
For
from.
sure.
Where does the move to Sacramento tie into this? How does this all happen? Because it seems like that has been a tremendous move for you in your career. You seem very happy there. How do you end up there?
Yeah. So with COVID, obviously, like that was kind of the start of like I know a lot of fighters have noticed this, the start of the difficulties in training and like with coaches, because when you're fighting and different organizations have different protocols and stuff. And at the time I was training at Rufus Sport. And I moved back to Rufus Sport from training with Mike Valley for my fight against Alexa Grasso. I just felt like it wasn't the right fit. You know, I love him as a person. But at the same time, like I just didn't feel like a home to me. So I tried to go back to Rufus Sport, and that was at the time where, you know, Anthony and Sergio were in PFL and Bellator. And the PFL and Bellator, like their quarantine was like 19 or 20 days. So in order for me to work with a coach, it's like, okay, well, he's going to be gone for so long. And I had a conversation with Duke, and he's like, you know, I'm going to be gone for this amount of time. And I was like, all right, well, I need a coach that's going to be able to like put in the time with me. And I just didn't feel like that was where I was at anymore. And I wanted something different. I wanted to change, and I wanted a fresh start. But I also wanted it at somewhere where I knew was established. I knew they had success, and I knew kind of the people, because I had met Danny like I think I met him 9 or 10 years ago. I met him at Dwayne's gym in Denver. So I was like, I just made a phone call. I was like, hey, I want to come out there. I want to train a little bit. This was before the Miranda Maverick fight. And so they were like, yeah, for sure, come out. And so 8 weeks before I fought Miranda, I went out for 2 weeks planning to go back to Milwaukee and just kind of cross train. Well, I spent the 2 weeks there, and then I came back out with my boyfriend, and we spent another 2 weeks. I was like, this is where we have to be. Like, this is, you know, this is high level gym, high level training. Everything's where we need it to be. And the environment is just a positive, goal oriented environment where they're just like chasing success. You know, they're just chasing being a better fighter, being a better athlete, being a better person. And so it felt like a great environment to be around, a positive environment, which is definitely something that I'd been working on mentally. So we made the transition. We like stayed an extra day in a hotel, got an apartment, and then moved there. And I've felt the same way ever since. You know, I've been very happy. You know, like I said, they are very success driven, but at the same time, they're very positive. You know, Danny is always going to push you to be the best fighter you can be, and at the same time, you know, it's they know how to have fun when it's time to have fun, but they also are like, all right, we're going to have fun while we're improving. Uriah's the same way. Joey's the same way, you know, and it's been a really great environment, and I felt a lot of success there, and it's, you know, it's worked out really well. So I feel like I really have found a home, and I said that to them on fight week this time. You know, it's like I know that I've been known to be that fighter that like kind of bounces around. And don't get me wrong, I love traveling, and I love seeing all the other styles, and I love learning from all the coaches that want to share their knowledge. But at the same time, like it finally feels right. You know, it feels like a place where, you know, we can chase the title and beyond. And I'm very happy for that.
Speaking of the
That was
title,
a long-winded answer.
no, it was a great answer. It was a great answer, and I'm very happy for
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Speaking
you.
of the title, you watched that fight, Valentina Tyler Santos. Do your eyes
I did.
open up? Do you say like the blueprint is there? I see the path. I can beat this woman.
Yeah. I can't remember the fight before that, but I feel like that was also a fight where it was a little bit, it wasn't just so easy for Valentina to just blow through these girls, you know? And then the fight with Tyler Santos. I honestly, like, I was feeling like if she hadn't caught that headbutt, it would have been a different fight. Like, I feel like the outcome would have been different. Tyler was doing a great job. And at first I didn't really know who she was before they fought, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I hadn't paid that much attention because she's a really good fighter, and she's going to be, I feel like if she gets a rematch, which I think she should, then she beats her, like she's the only one so far that I've seen that has exposed Valentina the way she did. And she did it really well. So, obviously congrats to Valentina for doing the same thing again, but I do feel like that would have been a different fight had she not caught that headbutt to the eye.
How far away do you think you are from being in that discussion?
1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years. How many fights is that for you?
Yeah. I feel like that, I say 1 to 2 years that's not as many fights. Like it'd be like, I think 2 to 3 fights.
Okay.
1 to 2 fights, like 2 to 3 fights. But at the same time, like I'm going to give myself that 2 to 3 years or 1 to 2 years, to improve. But honestly, like if they gave me the title fight tomorrow, like I'd be like, I know, and I truly believe in myself that I could win the title. So I'm always going to go for that. But at the same time, let's be realistic. There's places in my game that can improve. There's places in my wrestling and my striking that can be better. And I want to make sure that I'm fully prepared for that.
I know you want to be, like everyone wants to be the first one to beat Valentina at 125. Is there anyone maybe above you right now that worries you that you think could get to her first? Misha's fighting this weekend. She thinks that the blueprint's out if she beats Lauren Murphy. She thinks, is there any, there's Grasso out there, Manon Fiorot's out there. Are you worried about anyone getting to Valentina, beating Valentina before you can get to her?
Not really. I think the only person I think who would beat her is Tyler Santos. Like, honestly, I haven't seen anyone else emerge or like be that great. Obviously it'll be really good to see how Miesha Tate does. And of course I'm rooting for her because I've been a fan ever since, the beginning, and she's one of the legends of the sport. She's one of the originals, so it'd be really cool to see her not only have been fighting, but then also come back and be a mom and become the champion. But it's going to take someone truly special. And I honestly felt like Tyler could have done it. And if not, then I see myself doing it.
You had a pretty quick turnaround, right? You fought in April, you came back in July. Let's just presume that this contract situation gets worked out relatively quickly. Although you do strike me as a hard bargainer. I feel like you're going to bring the heat to the table. I feel like you're going to, you're not just going to let them walk all over you. You don't take the first offer, right? You take the first offer, then you come back with something.
No.
You know how it works. Okay, all right, you know what you're doing.
No, yeah. I know what I'm worth, and then you add tax, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But although, in California now, California is very expensive, right? So you got.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So you got to factor that in as well. When would you like to return, and do you have a name in mind?
So for right now, I think getting the contract negotiated, getting things figured out on that side, and then I want to fight again before the end of the year. I came out healthy. Obviously, I dealt with some personal things in between my fight with Montana and the fight with Jessica. I had some period issues and female issues that I had to deal with, and I'm still trying to take care of it. I honestly would love to fight again before the end of the year, maybe October, November. And as far as a person, I mean, someone who's ranked above me, I've had a lot of girls calling me out and be like, yeah, I want to fight her after, I want to fight the winner of this and this. And I'm like, I'm not fighting backwards. So you can work your way up, and I want to fight forward. So I'm chasing the title.
In a weird way, do you take any kind of pleasure, any kind of enjoyment out of the fact that you retired Jessica? I know you said very nice things about her and you're very respectful towards her, but is that kind of like a feather? Is that kind of like one of those deer heads on your wall? Like, do you like the fact that you retired a veteran of the game? You strike me as the kind of person that deep down, maybe you don't want to say it.
I would have liked it. I mean, honestly, like I would have liked it better to retire her by like knocking her out or finishing her. That would be, to me, that would feel like, damn, I just retired Jessica I got a decision over a pretty, obviously a very unanimous decision. But the next time I retire someone, it's going to be like, damn, she retired him. Like after that, they were never, the only person that I can think of that like, I think that is JJ Aldrich and Jillian Robertson have never, most of the girls that I fought, they were never fought against the same. If you watched JJ Aldrich, she's not the same fighter as when I fought her. She just like, ever since what I did to her, she's gun shy, she's afraid to get hit, and she never was that fighter. Like, she's a great fighter. And she changed after I fought her. And I'm going to get that back, like I'm going to continue to do that to these girls. I take more pleasure in that, knowing that a girl is never the same after I fight her, rather than like, oh, you retired Jessica because like, that's just how I think about it.
Very happy for you. Happy for your success. Happy you're back on track.
Thank you.
I hope that everything works out with the contract, with your health. A lot of people were jumping off that bandwagon, Maycee, but not me. I just want to let you know, okay? I was still there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Driving
Next
that
time
train.
Let's get me in studio. I'll come out and be in studio.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime to sit right here. Thank you for doing this on vacation. My best to your family, and talk to you very soon.
For sure. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
All right, there she is, Maycee Barber, the present and the future, dare I say.